4 Big Ten teams in the AVCA coaches poll. You see Wisconsin there at number 8, and then Texas number 2 in the country, 7 first place votes. This is a big time matchup here in Madison, Wisconsin. And once again, Big Ten volleyball strong. Take a look at the starting lineup for Texas, powered by American Ethanol. We talked about those new faces, 3 freshmen in the lineup, Logan Eggleston. You also got the Croatian in there, and we already talked about Micaiah White, the junior, as well. Jarrett Elliott, 8 Final Fours in the last 10 years, 18 remarkable seasons as the top man for the Texas Longhorns. And taking a look at the lineup for Wisconsin, Hilly, Retke, Williams, Lolberg, Hagerty is back, Duello, and the libero is Tiffany Clark. Kelly Sheffield, the head coach for the Wisconsin Badgers, 6th season. Of course, that first year, that amazing run all the way to the championship match. All right, Liz Tortorello Nelson. We talked about being a trailblazer. She was part of the team that won the first Big Ten title, taking her team to the NCAA championship, and a team that was first ever ranked for Wisconsin. So here we go, Liz, as we are set. Texas serving first. Swinging around already, finding that far pin, and that's the kind of start they wanted from Retke.
All day long, they really were missing that middle connection last weekend. Right off the bat, great kill by Dana Retke.
Of course, Dana Retke, a first-team All-American that they talked about redshirting last year. Her numbers were off the chart. Hilly with the service. Combination of Retke and Duello. Now it's Duello, 2-0.
That's 2 kills right away on that right side pin for the Badgers. You have to wonder, maybe they're just going to keep feeding that right side pin all night long, force Texas to make some adjustments.
Of course, these 2 teams met last September 18, 2016. Hammered in by Texas. Kill from Lukatic. Serving for Texas, Peterson. Texas wanted the tip. Take a look at that series history. Here's the deal with that meeting. See, Texas leads 4-3, but in 2016, Wisconsin was down 2, and they came back and won.
That was a great match, too. And we saw some big kills by Hagerty on the outside. She was missing last year. And there you see her right there on the left side pin taking those big swings. Right at us, Dean, right at us.
Right at us. We saw Lukatic go up, but the Badgers get the point. And Molly Hagerty, now she was on the floor for that comeback win. She was a star in that last match against Texas. In fact, so much so that Jarrett Elliott talked a lot about her today at practice. Double trouble. Duello, Retke.
It was an out-of-system play for Texas. You saw that nice high pass all the way out to the left side. So the Badgers had plenty of time to set up that strong block. Here you see Madison Duello taking her sweet time to really key in on Micaiah White.
Kelly Sheffield wanted the middle to get going. They're going 5-1 Badgers. Wisconsin serving up 5-1. Hammered right down the middle by Texas, Morgan Johnson.
Great first contact by Texas, and that's what they need to get those middles going right nice and high for Morgan Johnson. She's got that long arm, high snap.
Texas serving down 3, first set. Claire Hong, bench for Jarriett Elliott. And this near side pin pretty much working for everybody. That's twice now for Redke.
And that was a fast tempo as well. Great first contact, so they're able to run a faster tempo for Dana Redke on that slide approach. I loved how Micaiah White took off very fast in her dynamic block move, so she able to get a jump on that, but the seam was too big.
Redke serving. Going through 4 white jerseys for Texas, Micaiah White.
She's got a lot of range, great set, nice and high for her. She's able to take any kind of situation, see her block and really manipulate her arm, turn her wrist, or her thumb goes down, and she's able to wrist away and find that edge.
6-3 and service air for Texas, the first of the match. Madison Duello now serving for Kelly Sheffield. Denied in tandem. Wisconsin, Tiana Williams and Hagerty. They'll go back to Hagerty. Eggleston, not even 18 years old, number 33 for Texas. Fake Eggleston and bring the heat with Johnson.
I love how Texas is kind of waiting around, finding their moment to score. They had some higher balls, maybe 2 tempo balls. And right at the last second, they had a nice flat ball all the way out to the right side pin from Morgan Johnson to really take advantage of it. Going off high, off of 1 foot, and finding the seam.
Johnson with the kill, Johnson with the serve. Hagerty kept alive by Texas. It's going to be a free one. Eggleston tap it over. A little move at the net for the Badgers. Sydney Hilly. Hagerty. Right through Johnson. Point Badgers.
Great job by Sydney Hilly to keep that ball alive and better the ball. And that's what setters have to do. That was not a great pass by Tiana Williams. It should have been a 3-point pass, but Sydney turned it into something positive. So her teammate was able to get a kill.
Just sliding over the net. Perfect set right there. Beautiful assist, and then the kill coming for Butler. Ashley Shook. Phenomenal assist and second service there. Shook will have that assist now into the net.
A couple times Texas has been able to get a side out, but now at the serving line, they're struggling. Do you think that's nerves in a way? I mean, look at this crowd here, Dean. We've got the upper deck open, and we've got a lot of freshmen for Texas. Even though they're used to Gregory Gymnasium, 4,000 people, you can still be pretty nervous here in the field house.
Well, and it's one of the things Jarriett Elliott talked about as well. There's a different kind of feel at home because you got all that warmth, but he loves putting his team on the road. His non-conference schedule, arguably the toughest schedule in the country. Eggleston. Great smoke for Wisconsin. Grace Lolberg, the sophomore for Geneva.
It was just too soft of a serve for Texas. You see their freshmen coming in to serve the ball, but it was too easy, so Wisconsin was able to take advantage of a perfect pass and a kill.
10-6 first set. Hilly. Shook. Redke is feeling it, and that was the #1 thing Kelly Sheffield said, get Redke going.
Absolutely, and what it takes is a strong transition game. Something we didn't really see out of the middles last weekend against Florida State. Dana Redke was able to transition fast and get up and show her arm to her setter.
2017 Big Ten Freshman of the Year with 3 kills. That time, though, Butler goes right through Redke and point Texas.
Freshman Breon Butler, really strong, driving hard away from the setter, so she was able to create some space from the net, the setter, and from the block.
Butler, last year's #2 recruit in the country, was redshirted. And once again, far side, Lolberg.
I love love the sets right now by the Badgers. Sydney Hilly doing a great job. Great touch, getting her hitters that opportunity to just score. She's just creating enough tempo, so the block on Texas' side is given a little sliver of hope so they can find the seam.
Great dig deep for Wisconsin from Tiffany Clark. Good touch at the net. Back to Hagerty. Double block for Texas, and then Wisconsin saves it for a massive turnaround point.
Well, that'll get the crowd going. Just a quick defensive move like that by Sydney Hilly, staying low on the coverage. A lot of young players tend to watch too much, but Sydney Hilly is down, and she's able to get a stab on that ball.
Sydney Hilly already with 8 assists, and she'll take that kill. Together, it was Retke and Duello. That'll leave Hagerty open, and Hagerty back with the team. Missed pretty much all of last season with that back injury. She's an All-American back on the court for Wisconsin.
Oh, the fans love it.
So timeout, Texas. The Badgers have doubled up the Longhorns, and Hagerty is feeling it. 14-7. Lolberg with the serve. Teach kept alive by Wisconsin. 3-1 for Texas. Able to tool it, climbing high there, Micaiah White.
That was a nice second, and all the way out to the pin for Micaiah White. Plus, it's got a little faster tempo. I've noticed with Texas, it almost like they're a little tentative right now. They're not really in system. They don't have their groove going, and I think their groove is just a faster ball out to the pins, so they get their comfort back.
On in again to serve, and right down the middle, Retke. She's elevating more, she's involved, her eyes even seem bigger than the opening weekend.
Well, the comfort is there definitely for Dana Retke right now for 4 kills automatically and 4 attempts, so she's perfect.
22 attacks so far from Texas, 18 for Wisconsin. Wisconsin has been efficient. Their backside kept alive by Texas. Johnson, White. Come back. And once again, Duello, you were immediate when you said, I want to put the spotlight on number 14 we talked earlier in the week.
Well, she's doing a nice job of seeing the court. Not only she's strong on the right side, but she's doing a nice job in all the intangibles with the game. She's a redshirt junior, so she's been around a long time right now and able to learn. She was injured for the early part of her career, so sometimes when you're injured, Dean, you take in a lot and you're able to learn, and I'm so glad that she's back on the court and able to really capitalize on it.
So well said by Ms. Tortorello Nelson. Second service error for Wisconsin. Texas also with 2 service errors. The lead is 7. Duello picked up by White. Scramble, and White will allow Wisconsin to stay in system. And Duello, what a great dig from Hahn. Look at the rhythm right now. Hagerty, that may have been deep. White kept it alive. Eggleston. What a vicious swing from number 33.
And we saw that. That was a big wind-up by that freshman. She is really unique. She's got the full package. So great defensive move by Texas. But in the end, you've got Logan Eggleston. Amazing shot. And just a freshman. She plays very mature for her age.
High school a year early to come to Texas as they were scrambling just a little bit. And Eggleston was there. That was deflected. Eggleston, another big swing. So hard to handle. And early enrollee, she's only 17 years old, Liz.
Oh, that's amazing. I can't even imagine. I mean, my daughter right now, Dean, is 15. I couldn't imagine her on this court right now in this venue, being 17 and being able to graduate early and step up in these big shoes of a very traditional powerhouse like Texas. And they're just so pleased with her performance. Day 1, she was able to go on that international tour with Texas, and boy, she's going to be so much fun to watch throughout her career.
She's part of this 3-0 run right now, so Kelly Sheffield wants to talk it over with the Badgers. They're up by 4 here in Madison. timeout for Wisconsin. Texas on a 3-0 run, looking to serve. Hagerty looks ready to receive from Micaiah White. White just over the net. Excellent service. Denied. Blocked by Johnson. Johnson again gets a piece of it to slow it down. Eggleston, we've seen 2 vicious swings and now 3. And Eggleston has scored 3 of the 4 points on this run.
Do you see me shaking my head right now? That was an amazing shot for anybody, let alone somebody like Logan, off the net, pulling up nice and high, turning her wrist, finding that deep corner.
Eggleston with 3 kills in this 5-0 run. Hagerty. They're going to go Eggleston again. They're going to go Eggleston until Wisconsin can stop it. As Eggleston has put Texas back in this one, down just 3. Pushed over at the net by Johnson. Dwello, and Dwello found the seam. White was frozen.
Well, she was able to get that kill, but my eyes are on the libero from Wisconsin. We've got Tiffany Clark over there doing some nice things in the left back position. First dig and then second dig to keep it alive.
Wisconsin 33-9-2 all-time in home openers. Dwello with the service. Eggleston again. Wow. 1 or 2, she's going right through the block attempt for Wisconsin.
That was her 4th kill as well, going high, deep edge. Tough to get for the Badgers. Keeping the ball in play for Texas. They're inching along.
17-14. Now just 3. Perfect setup. Tiana Williams, the senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
She's a lone senior on this squad, and she's finding those areas for her to contribute to the team. And again, last weekend, the middles were not connecting so well, so it's really important for tonight for that setter-middle connection. Find some kills up there.
Good pullback there from Hahn as she got out of the way, and it's the 3rd service error against Wisconsin. That'll put Ashley Shook at the service line from Texas. Phenomenal dig by Texas, but they can't do anything with it. Sydney Peterson was able to dig it out, but too much trouble in point Wisconsin.
Another freshman for Texas doing a nice job of finding a way to keep the ball alive. And she's done such a nice job in a short period of time. Again, another person who came early to Texas to take part in that international tour with the team. So important, not only for team chemistry, their confidence, just getting used to each other, but touching the ball as much as they can before the fall season.
Tiana Williams, big smile after talking to head coach Kelly Sheffield. Largest lead in the first set is 8. It's back to 4. Last point from Wisconsin. Shit. From Grace Lolberg. Clark. Bouncing around the net. Redke keeps it alive. Redke goes one way. Coming the other way is Lolberg.
I will definitely let the fans enjoy that one. Lolberg is up and ready to go. Her first step is right towards the ball. She's not waiting for a higher tempo, out of system. She's in system all the time, and she's got a nice snap on that ball and a heavy arm.
Hilly with her 14th assist on that Lolberg finish. Service error number 4 for Wisconsin. And Kelly Sheffield, you know his approach on service errors. Talk a little bit about it.
Well, last year, that was one of their issues, was serving, but serving aggressive. And so another goal of theirs this season in a short period of time was be able to put pressure on all 6 rotations in their serves.
Speaking of pressure, that serve from Eggleston puts all kind of pressure. Kelly Sheffield talked about the importance of that first contact. Deep back row Hagerty. Diving play there by Sydney Hilly. Near side, Micaiah White is everywhere for Texas as they're crawling back in it.
Well, she can just elevate too, and I'm watching her reach. Her contact point is super high right now.
Watch this service here from Eggleston. Smoked through the tape. Redkey on a platter, laying it down, 5 kills.
She turns that sharp cross court. She's able to get the seam, find a way in between the two blockers. You see Micaiah White going all the way out to the pin. Right now, Dana Redkey is not a line hitter on the side approach. She likes those cross court shots.
Sydney Hilly to serve, 15 assists already. White. Off the scoreboard. Phenomenal save, back row from Texas. Redkey, little tap, the scramble. And once again, it's Autumn Utzeville had that save and the scramble, and here she is again. Phenomenal rally right here, the best of the match so far. And fighting through it right there, Grace Lolberg's got 4 kills.
I love the patience right now in the Badgers squad. They're finding a way just to hang out and see what works until the very end to get a good swing.
Returning All-Americans for Wisconsin, of course, Redkey. Phenomenal freshman campaign. Tiana Williams and Molly Hagerty, who sat out last year. It's like getting a brand new recruit. Speaking of new recruits, Butler came in last year, the #2 recruit in the nation. Texas was so deep, they redshirted her.
Think about that. Think about how valuable you are as an athlete, and you have to have the patience, the discipline to go to a program like Texas, knowing full well you cannot play your first year because you're behind so many more All-Americans. She's going to have her moment in the sun. We're seeing some great stuff by Brown Butler. Right now, Texas needs to get her the ball.
Service for Texas, Sydney Peterson. A little too deep there. Good high rise there from Duello, but just not able to follow through and bring it in.
Well, right now, this rotation, they're in rotation 1, which is one of the hardest rotations, I think, in volleyball.
Service error on Peterson, and Liz, that's 3 service errors for Texas.
Yeah, Texas kind of let Wisconsin off the hook right there. You want to keep the pressure on.
See the service errors, 4 and 3. Wisconsin, though, just 2 points away from taking the first set, and boom, right back. The favors return. 5 service errors for the Badgers. That'll bring Claire Hahn, Austin, Texas, Westlake High School. 23-20 Wisconsin. Hilly goes deep to Hagerty, and Hagerty finds an open spot. And the Badgers 1 point away from that first set.
And here they go. The fans are rising up. You got Hagerty, just like the old days, Dean.
Hagerty against Florida State, her 10th career double-double with 10 kills and 10 digs. First set point, White denied at the net. That was Duello, and a save from Peterson. White, kinda deep. Lolberg, now Hagerty. Kept alive again, White. Right through the double block, Duello and Williams.
Now you got Micaiah White going to the backcourt here, but look who's in the front row. Logan Eggleston. Wisconsin's got to find a way to get a good first contact right now out of this rotation. She's got Hagerty in the front row, Tiana Williams, and Madison Duello.
Johnson and Eggleston, all kinds of communication right now, giving a signal to White. White's got to get it across, goes deep, and a service error gives Wisconsin set number 1.
That was a great set by Wisconsin, coming out in their home opener, winning that first set decisively. Great connections by their middle.
They open up the upper deck to get more fans in here. There's 7,000 plus enjoying every minute of it. Wisconsin takes set one.
Over 300, Dana Recchi with 5 kills. They got their middles going. But Texas, Mikhail White getting a lot of attempts, 17 attempts and only a few kills. So look for things to change with Texas, especially now with the different flip of their rotation. They're starting in row 2 right now. Let's see what happens.
First time this year in 3 matches that Texas has lost the first set. Second set underway. Luka Teach kept alive by Clark and denied. Luka Teach came right back in tandem there with Butler.
Just really strong, waiting for the out-of-system play. Nice hands over, pressing over the net. Nice disciplined block by Texas.
That's actually the first block for Texas tonight.
You're right. There was only one block by the Badgers in that first set.
Redkey, too deep, flat-footed. Even at 6'8", flat-footed, it's going to be hard to land it.
It is, and you know, the court looks very small with all these women out here in these tall frames. I think the average height right now in the court has probably got to be about 6'2".
They go back to Redkey. Cross court, out of bounds, and Texas comes out strong here, a 3-0 lead.
And this is what Texas wants. They want to put pressure on the Badgers right now from the serving line. Texas has a nice, strong block, so it starts with the serve.
Wisconsin taking the first set. Picked off there by Clark. Safety from Duello. Perfect placement from White, and that's what we talked about in the open. She can flat out play anywhere and do it all.
She can. She saw the defense. She knew that Madison Duello was on the left side, and she was unable to take it. So great job right now by Texas, starting off strong.
Welcome back to the UW Fieldhouse. Alongside Liz Tortorello Nelson, Dean Linke with you. Wisconsin taking that first set, 25-21, but Texas off to a phenomenal start. Their second best run of the day, 4 in a row. Hagerty will pop it. Lolberg, and the Badger faithful love it.
Can we talk about Grace Lolberg right now? I don't think we talked about her at all. Last year, she had 20 kills against Stanford in their final match, and you can really tell how much work she's put in the offseason for her to get this big start for the Badgers. Had a great weekend last weekend. 6 rotation player.
Yeah,
Gets her teammates pumped up.
Yeah,
I love it.
She took what she did in the NCAA tournament and rolled it right into last weekend, as she's on the service line now as 13 personal bests in that first weekend for Wisconsin, and Grace Lolberg had 4 of them as she serves Wisconsin down 2. White had to reset, could not get any power on it. Texas as Duello denied at the net.
It was an inside set, and you can see Madison Duello trying to really reach and turn it and cut it. But guess who's there? Mikhail White, one of the best blockers on this Texas squad, and I'll tell you why. She's very disciplined. On that left side, you want to keep that left hand nice and flat and low over the net. Great block by Mikhail White.
To Texas, Redkey. We saw the speed of Eggleston, and now that's Redkey cranking that right arm.
Let's keep her rolling. Big transition game for Dana Recchi, getting way behind that 10-foot line to take off for that slide approach.
Recchi leads all players with 6 kills, and it's Redkey with the service almost getting an ace, as we're still searching for the first service ace of the match. Hagerty, perfect placement. That kind of vision, even in the air, so effective.
And it's a touch. You know, a couple years ago, Hagerty would come out and just bang away. She was a big hammer on the team. She's learned a lot. She's got a lot of range now. She's got a lot of weapons up her sleeve. She can add those roll shots and tips and find the court no matter where she is. So you're going to see her mixing it up. Big swings, but add some tips in there.
Hagerty gets it back, and it slips inside. And once again, Hagerty.
I have to say, she was a missing piece last year. The Badgers ended 7th place in the Big Ten, and they did not have Molly Hagerty, and she is a constant for this team. Very smooth, 6th rotation player. I think she did a nice job of really watching, learning, and developing when she was out.
We got to remember, they've got 2 Freshmen of the Year on the court. Hagerty won it in 2016. Redke serving now, won it last year. Through the tape again. Redke with some power. Hagerty in tandem with Williams.
Well, she shuts down Morgan Johnson, and that was a tough ball on a slide approach. If you got a double block on you, it's not a lot you can do with it. With their hands over the net. Look at that. Nice high press. As a blocker, you want to be as offensive with your hands, just as defensive.
4-0 run finally comes to an end for Wisconsin, as this one started 4-0. Wisconsin with that 4-0 run, and now we're tied at 6. White with 5 kills and 6 digs serving. Williams will pop over by Johnson. Wisconsin bringing the same thing. Phenomenal save. Back row. Lolberg. But then denied by Texas. The field house was getting ready to rock right there.
Those tips can become very contagious. Just patty cake back and forth over the net. Somebody trying to find a hole in the court. But good defensive moves. Being scrappy is good. Very good in the beginning of the season, because that turns into solid play later on.
Lolberg, 8 digs. And a little smile right there. She thought she had saved it. Instead, Texas back on top. White serving. Lolberg first. Williams. Tiana Williams, the senior.
Up and ready to go. Tiana Williams doing a nice job of getting up high and fast. Look at those arms swinging. When you do a slide approach, it's just like taking a layup in basketball. You want to chase the ball, and really, at your highest point, your arm should be nice and high, and add that nice high snap. Boom, the ball goes down.
Williams certainly thanking number 2, Sydney Hilly, who now has 20 assists. 7s, second set. Wisconsin took the first. Johnson denied by Hagerty and Williams.
Well, right now, Wisconsin is reading Texas offense really well. Tiana Williams is going in the right direction. As a setter, you want to kind of fool that middle blocker, so it gives your outside hitters, your pin hitters, a chance.
Back row. White. Hagerty. Mad scramble here, and Eggleston can make any mad scramble look clean if she can find it. Rising to the air, and another kill. It's 5 for Eggleston.
Well, it's an out-of-system play, and she does a nice job tracking it. That is not easy over your shoulder. You have to be very patient, keeping the ball in front of you. And if you notice, if you key in on her wrist, Dean, she's able to nice high snap it, also turn it a little bit so her thumb goes from down to up, and she's able to put a little bit of side spin on it.
Freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee, should still be at Brentwood High School. Instead, she's a star in the making for the Badgers. White has been a star for so long. She's got 7 kills.
Texas is starting to put the tempo, getting the tempo going right now, and they're picking up the pace. This is what that team needs right now. Keep Badgers off their guard.
Too deep for
I spoke too
White.
soon.
That's 5 service errors to match Wisconsin's 5 service errors. Johnson's going to go out as Hagerty will step back to the service line for Coach Sheffield. Boy, she just seems to totally know when to back away, and we still don't have a service ace, but we have 11 service errors. We've had 5 lead changes here in the second set. Hahn, it's twice she's backed away on the long serve. Ashley Shook serving for Texas. Butler now in the middle for the Longhorns. They go Eggleston. And that was in. Can we talk about how clean this game has been as well? No net infractions. I mean, it's really been moving along cleanly.
That's right. There's no net infractions at all. The block is there, and the defense is supposed to set up around the block.
So 6-6. Service errors just evening out.
It could get kind of ugly with the service errors, but we also have to remember this is a home opener. This is the first time the Badgers have played in this gym, and obviously with Texas being here, you're going to see some errors.
Both teams come into this match having won their first 2 games. Ooh, Butler, timed perfect. Shook. What a set. She set it as Butler was rising.
We haven't talked about Ashley Shook yet, and, you know, she's done a nice job of transgressing from last year where she was struggling a little bit with some connections. She's cleaned up a lot. She's very calm on the court. Coach Elliott has talked to us about how well she's done serving, defense, blocking, all the different things besides setting. And she's also just a lot more confident.
Texas point. Sydney Hilly went up twice, but Texas now with a little run of their own. Hagerty trying to get the Badgers pumped up. Eggleston. This service has a swerve on it. Lolberg. And Lolberg with the kill. Lolberg's got 6 kills.
Got a little net call right there.
Kelly Sheffield. Boy, how happy was he to talk about having Hagerty back?
I think they did a nice job of really resting her, making sure she was ready to go full strength. Even though that's really hard for the athlete to sit out somebody as competitive as Molly Hagerty.
Swing there from Butler. Butler this time into the net.
Sometimes the setter forces it to the middle instead of really sees it and pushes it nice and high. Breon Butler has got a nice high contact point, so as a setter, you got to make sure you really get it up there, give her a little kick at the end so she can use her full height.
Retke slowed it down. Retke was all about it by her slowing down the hit there from Butler. It allowed Lolberg to finish.
I'm watching the defense. Look at this great dig by Tiffany Clark, getting that ball up nice and high. One of the captains of the Badgers. Boy, she's really showing her leadership in the backcourt, taking charge, serve, receive, but digging as well, doing a nice job. She's got 10 digs so far.
Yeah, double digit. Lukatic, freshman from Croatia, denied.
Yes, solo block right there. Grace Lolberg read that well, hands pressed, nice and high. Nowhere to go for Texas.
4th block of the set for Wisconsin as Lolberg gives the Badgers a 1-point lead. Tonight's attendance 7,052. We saw the band here as well. When you were here as that Trailblazer, the team was paying band members just to get over here.
My coach Steve Lowe used to pay each band member $5 to come, begging them to show up to our matches, and I think it just became popular after that. After a while, Steve probably couldn't afford to pay all of them, and they just wanted to come and have fun.
Kill from White.
Now, I'm so glad this is what it's turned into.
Yeah, I love that story as you talk about the turnaround with really, I mean, part of your class, you look up and you see that banner up there, 1990 Big Ten champions, a service error from Texas will give it back to Wisconsin. And there she is, the Trailblazer, Liz Tortorello Nelson. 1990 first team all Big Ten selection. 4,107 career assists, still fourth in school history. But as we talked about, more important to you was getting that first Big Ten championship, Liz.
Oh, that was huge, and that was the goal. And that's what the goal is for both of these teams, to win their conference championship first. Their eyes are set on that big prize. They do not jump ahead and look into the NCAAs. They want to win their conference championship. And then for a team like Texas, I know, you're pointing me out.
Yeah, that belongs to you. That might even be
good
you.
Shots up there.
Although you were a setter.
Those were good times.
Once again, Johnson able to power through. Got a good one here. Claire Hahn, specialist off the bench for Coach Elliott. Hagerty, boy, when you can slide around with Retke in the middle and Hagerty elevating.
They make it look easy, but it really starts with that first contact. It's a great pass, and Sydney Hilley's right there to put it right on the money for Molly Hagerty, and she's going to give the love to her setter and to her passer.
Wisconsin up to White. Kale White.
That was a big point for Mikhail White. She knew exactly what she was doing. It was a tight set. She went up strong and hard and being aggressive, going right into the block. You cannot shy away. You have to really find those hands and push in towards the block and out. Huge play for the #1 outside hitter for Texas.
Maybe that was going to sail deep. The block for Texas. Eggleston, number 33, and number 12, Johnson.
Madison Duello hitting right into the middle of that strong block. She knew what she was doing right afterwards. She probably wants that ball right back at her.
Service error for White. That's 8 now for Texas, 6 for Wisconsin.
Texas missed opportunities, keeping the pressure on the serve receive of Wisconsin. She was doing a nice job of taking them out of system, but you cannot take your foot off the pedal from that serving line.
Johnson, ball behind her. Williams works it, point Badgers.
She does work it, and I like that set all the way out to the pin. You can see your block going up with you. You take advantage of those hands. She's showing them in the air, Logan Eggleston. It's one of the hardest skills to learn in the collegiate game is blocking.
Eggleston out of bounds, and it's 2017 Wisconsin. Largest lead of the second set for the Wisconsin Badgers. Enough where 18-year top man Jared Elliott of Texas needs to talk it over. Wisconsin up a set. Dana Retke, last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, bringing the heat tonight.
Well, right now she's really doing a nice job of sliding along the net. Good connection with their setters. A few errors here and there, but not so bad like last weekend. I just felt she was a little off. Tonight she's moving a lot faster, finding more range, and really hitting her stride.
Now, last season, it was interesting as well. As you talked to Diane Nordstrom to SID, she said after the end of the season, Retke was like, what's all the fuss about? When she looked at her numbers, she said, oh, yeah, that is something to fuss about.
That looks pretty good. It definitely earned her a lot of accolades and definitely carried over to the summer with the U.S. team. She got a lot of experience playing on the international level, and then now it's just carrying over.
Eggleston. Power going through Williams that time, so Eggleston had one go off her. This time she'll take one off the Badgers.
And they want to get her the ball right now. Texas has got their setter in the front court. She's got two strong hitters. She's got a new DS coming into the back row with Gabriel from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Gabriel on the service. Hilly to Hagerty. And get used to hearing that this year. Hilly to Hagerty.
Hilly to Hagerty, that's right. It's hard to say that pretty fast there, Dean, but you know, it's the first contact. It's a great tempo ball. It's hard for Texas to move laterally along the net to find that and set that block.
Hagerty after the kill, serving. Eggleston made a meal of it, but she'll get it back. Hagerty cleans it up. Lolberg. Eggleston again, denied. Let's see if Wisconsin can. Denied by Butler. Shook was there with her. Lolberg.
I see Lolberg going after Breanne Butler. Now that's somebody I wouldn't hit into. I would try to hit closer to Ashley Shook, get that ball all the way out to the pin so Grace Lolberg can have a chance to tool the setter instead of going for those long arms of Butler.
Shook serving for Texas. Nifty little touch there by Hilly. Kept alive there by Texas. Another dig for Clark. Too late for the pancake. And Clark, by the way, 12 digs, keeping it alive for the Badgers.
Well, we see a familiar face up there for Texas as well. Yazzie Bedargani. She's back in. She plays on the right side. It looks like they're in rotation one right now for Texas. Another tough one with Clark, one of the better servers for the Badgers.
Last thing Jarrett Elliott said today at practice when we were over here was, don't be surprised if you see Yazzie back in there. Yazzie Bedargani. Can't hang with it, and Eggleston now. She's got 8 kills, just 2 behind White for Texas. 22-20. Wisconsin taking that first set. Eggleston, a block to go with the 8 kills. Hilly. Saved. White. And White too much. As Clark not able to get dig number 13.
It was a great shot by Micaiah White. Good push by Shook all the way out there. Reading Micaiah White, going strong cross-court angle.
Timeout. Micaiah White, 11 kills. She's got 8 digs, a block as well, and Texas now just 1 behind here, 22-21.
Well, she's a gamer right now, and these are the kind of situations that you want to find Micaiah White in, hitting strong from the left side. You want to put her in the position to score every time, and Shook has got to do a nice job of giving her a little bit of seam to work with. The Badgers, on the flip side, their block has got to read Shook a little bit faster to get those hands over the net. Really, the front row dictates what the back row is going to do, Dean. So if the front row is strong, the back row is able to pick up those balls.
Later tonight, get caught up on the entire day of Big Ten football with highlights, interviews, and analysis. The Final Drive presented by Auto Owners Insurance tonight at 11 Eastern right here on BTN. Don't have to pay the band anymore to come to the UW Fieldhouse. They love their volleyball in Madison. It's so great to be a part of it. Texas talking it over. Great coaching staff. Jarrett Elliott singing the praises of Tanya Johnson, Eric Sullivan, and Will Boyd. Now the Badgers coming out of that timeout, leading by 1 here. That swing set, right? Up 1-0. If the Badgers can take it home, they're feeling pretty good.
This is really important serve right now from the freshman Logan Eggleston.
Eggleston took a little heat off that time. Retke goes right through the block of White and Butler.
A the front row got a nice touch from Texas. They were not able to run it down. Dana Recke goes up really strong and finds those high hands.
So Hilly. 27 assists for Hilly. Lolberg up and over the net. Texas, I think, may have thought we shook talking to the official. Let's take a look at it.
Well, that was fair game. It was right on top of the net. The head official had a great view of the ball. I don't blame Texas. They've got to argue that call. Slows down the pace of the game. Gives them a little bit of time to think about it.
Lolberg now with a team high 9 kills. Butler right down the middle. 24-22 as Butler denies that set point for Wisconsin.
Great pass, so they're able to run their middle, establish it. Got the Badgers inside. Got rid of a few defenders in the backcourt. Nice kill.
Sydney Peterson, 7 digs on the day, serving. Fake Recke. The winner for Duello, and Wisconsin leads it 2 sets to none.
Great swing by Madison Duello to end it. Everyone thinks she's gonna bang away, but it was a smart shot. With the help from her teammates yelling, "What's open on defense?" Off-blocker defense was not there for Texas, so easy score for the Badgers, taking it home 2-0.
Madison Duello, we talked about her in the open. She is finding the open areas, the band pumping it up. Feeling good at the UW Fieldhouse. Badgers up 2 sets to none. The fans are out, the stars are out, Bucky is out. Coach Sheffield has Wisconsin on top of number 2 Texas, 2 sets to none. Those 5 extra kills for Wisconsin, the difference here. Wisconsin now's knocked off Texas in 5 straight sets.
Well, we got Madison Duello doing her thing, just exactly how we talked about it in the beginning. She's blocking really well, but she's reading the court. She's finding areas along the edges to find kills. And Logan Eggleston, that freshman phenom, nice high snaps and swings. Texas has got to give her the ball to see what she can do. She can also serve really hard and tough for the Longhorns.
Good start for Madison Duello as we get the 3rd set underway. Remember, they dropped the set time, or the time between sets, to just 5 minutes here. One of the changes. They're right back out there. Lolberg. Effort for Texas, but not enough, as Lolberg now with 10 kills.
Right off the bat, Wisconsin's putting pressure on the defense of the Longhorns. They're running down balls, chasing them, trying to do something to stir up a little energy on this side of the court.
Now, Grace Lolberg has a double-double as they clean up the floor. Lolberg, as she just got her 10th kill, it took Lolberg 10 matches to get 10 digs last year. She has 10 through the first 2 sets tonight, and now, with that, those 10 kills.
Well, it's definitely, you know, she's getting the help from her teammates, too, and she'd be the first one to say it.
It's her 2nd career double-double for Lolberg, her 2nd straight game, as she had 4 of the 13 personal bests in the opening weekend for the Badgers. Butler had to time it perfectly. Hagerty will leave it. Duello thought she was able to tool it, and she was.
She got the touch. Nice high hands. No argument on the other side. Great high snap. You got Butler up there.
Great start for Wisconsin here in the 3rd set, trying to close the door on the number 2 team in the country. White able to get her kill. She's got 12 kills to lead all players. Hilly to Retke, and Retke now with 8 kills.
Morgan Johnson got to the pin a little late, so Dana Retke had some space to swing. A lot of space to swing, bouncing right off the hands of Morgan Johnson.
Kept alive by Texas. White, back row save from Lolberg. Here we go, another good rally. Cleaned up by Hilly. Hilly with 6 digs. And a finish for the Badgers.
Great swing by Molly Hagerty, but again, great patience. I'm also watching Grace Lolberg in the backcourt, digging those balls up. But look at that assist as well, coming from her friend, her fellow outside hitter. Molly Hagerty does a nice job of keeping the ball in front of her.
Head coach Jared Elliott from Texas wants to talk it over. The Longhorns have lost the first 2 sets. The #2 team in the country in trouble here in Madison.
Well, right now he's getting it done here in Wisconsin. Done some nice things, not only with his recruiting classes every year, but made a lot of changes here in the field house. Upper deck, the lighting, the scoreboard. Can't really look at any spot here, Dean, without seeing Kelly Sheffield's touches on this.
His amazing first year after coming over from Dayton, taking his team to the national championship game before losing to the Penn State and Nittany Lions. That one goes deep, and all of a sudden with no service aces at all, and Jarrett Elliott with the hands crossed. Service errors starting to play a role here. It's 5-2 Wisconsin. Retke serving for Wisconsin. Shook. Go with the quick release, and now Shook gives a free one to Wisconsin. They can set it up. Go near side pin, but too deep there from Duello.
Great dig by Sydney Peterson. Freshman really doing a nice job at chasing the ball, going with one arm, keeping the ball up. She's done a great job for this Texas squad. Her mother is a head volleyball coach at UNI. She's got a twin sister who also plays for UNI, so she's been in the gym a lot.
And we finally get our first ace right there, and it's from Micaiah White. First ace of the night. White will try to follow up the ace. Tie it up here for Texas. Nothing doing is sliding over for the finish is Williams.
Well, we got Tiana Williams really going hard. She's got a lot of court to hit into. You see Logan really trying to track it, but she had the seam and the line shot open. Tough for the defenders back there for Texas.
Madison Duello serving. And she'll match the ace of White. Ace for Duello. Kelly Sheffield calls her smooth jazz. In reference to Mellow Duello, just went with smooth jazz. And she's been smooth tonight.
She's very smooth.
Johnson pushing over. Whistle, and Texas will take it.
I hate to say it, but Texas got lucky on that. It was just really bad ball control right now. And I'm sure Ashley Shook's taking a deep breath on that one. Happy that she got that back. You know, setters do have a hard job up there at Dean. They've got to track those passes all over the place and make sure they're putting up a hittable ball.
They're going to give that to Wisconsin.
Just barely nicked her. It's a good tool opportunity for Wisconsin. Their middles are really showing up strong tonight.
So Molly Hagerty She's got 9 kills, 6 digs, 2 blocks, and 3 assists. Full day for Hagerty. Eggleston gets the point as that hit a Badger and went tape first. So much power right through it. And then hit a Badger player. Point Eggleston, point Texas.
Both sides are using the tape an awful lot tonight, not only on the serving, but if you notice as the game has gone on, maybe their jumps are getting a little bit lower, their legs are feeling it in this heat.
Williams dug out again by Peterson. Peterson's got double-digit digs for Texas. Williams can't get to it. Point Texas, down 1 here in the 3rd set.
And you had both blockers from Texas going up strong with Sydney Hilly. It's unfortunate they weren't able to make a connection off of that. We do have a lot of breaks in the action. It's very warm in the field house right now, so we have a lot of, I hate to say it, sweat on the court.
So Liz, Wisconsin, they took the first 2 sets tonight. They also took the first 2 sets against Texas in its 2013 NCAA semifinal wins. Badgers had big wins against very good Texas teams. There's Lolberg, and Lolberg now with 11 kills. Back-to-back double-doubles, first time in her career. And Lolberg leads all Badger players with 11 kills. Tiffany Clark, the barrel for the Badgers, serving. Eggleston, well, she'll come deep with power. And Eggleston now with double-digit finishes.
And that's just a matter of making the ball better. Ashley Shook did a nice job of putting the ball up in that sweet spot for her hitter, so she's able to find the court. Hagerty and Emmy Dodge back there just squeaking in a little bit too far up on defense. I love when Texas is scoring deep along the edges.
Badgers get it right back, though, and they have a 2-point lead.
And that's a chance for the setter to be offensive as well. A nice double hand dump, straight down. Something she hasn't done all night, and she is more or less an offensive setter. I saw her attacking a lot last year, not so much this match.
So close to getting the second ace, but not the second effort there from Texas. Then the finish, far side from Lolberg. And Lolberg now with 12 kills for Wisconsin.
Boy, she really likes that ball. Nice, flat, out to the pin. It's really hard for Breon Butler to take that first step in getting that lateral movement out to close the block. You know, I give a lot of credit to Wisconsin right now. When you establish middle early, Texas block has got to hang with that middle. So it opens things up on the outsides. It really gives a nice breather for the outside hitters for Wisconsin to hit those seam shots.
Hilly serving, 11-8 Wisconsin. Butler in rhythm down the middle. We have seen that a couple times for the redshirt freshman Butler, who has 6 finishes for Texas.
And they make it look so easy, but it's because it's a 3-point pass, a perfect pass to the setter. And that means that the setter has 3 great options up there offensively.
Peterson serving, Redkey. Dug out by Shook. Redkey. Lolberg. Straight heat.
Straight heat, she's a hammer. She's got that heavy arm, that long frame. And she was working so hard every day. Coach Sheffield said it wasn't a matter of her just, you know, not being able to, she wasn't quite there to beat out the other outside hitters last year. She wasn't quite ready, but every day she got better, Dean. Every day in the gym, she got a little bit better. So by the time the NCAA championship came along at the end of the postseason, she really was able to shine in that last match.
Far side. Climbing the ladder for Texas. We thought Yazzie was going to get in there. And she did.
She did, and she's been a strong player too. She's played a bunch of different positions for Texas along the years. She's been an outside, a right side. I think she was even a middle at one point.
Redkey. wanted it. She won't get it. Out of bounds.
No green cards tonight, Dean. I haven't seen anybody throw up a green card yet. We got a good look here. That was close.
Yeah, I don't know. Hagerty. And Hagerty. She's got double-digit kills to join Lolberg. And it's the 20th time Hagerty has 10 kills.
Well, it's a perfect set for her. And really, Morgan Johnson, her hands are just not up and over. If you notice back there, they were back. So she's getting some touches up there, but her defense is not able to cover around her. I can see Texas bench is getting very frustrated right now.
Shook. Look at that. Remember that Lolberg, and then Retke went too deep. Lolberg with the dig, her 14th, but Retke too deep.
And that's just reaction time. You've got to be able to protect your face in those situations. Look at that shot by Morgan Johnson, and you just got to be ready to throw up those hands and try to make a play.
Great work as always by our BTN crew. They're early at the field house, working hard like these two teams. Number 2, Texas. Number 8, Wisconsin. Cleaned up. Hustle play. Good block there from Texas.
Not a lot of long rallies in this set, Dean. The defense is just not there.
See if they can get a wave going, the Wisconsin bench. Getting the crowd excited. Hagerty denied, and that's 2 in a row at the net for Johnson.
And that will get Texas pumped up for sure. As an inside set, we saw Hagerty trying to swipe and go across court, but Morgan Johnson is right there with her left hand dropping.
It's Texas' first lead of this third set here, 14-13. Hagerty trying to tie it. Good effort by Hahn. Now Eggleston. Eggleston gives Texas a 2-point lead.
And defense will do that. If you spur something defensively, whether it's in the front row with the block or Hahn with that dig back there, that's all it takes.
Wisconsin takes the first 2 sets. Texas leading the third set by 2. A good one at the field house in Madison.
It's a great volleyball match. 2 powerhouses, top 10.
Service here for Texas. So that's double-digit service errors for the Longhorns.
Now everyone's got to still remember it's early in the season. It's only second week of play. Coaches are still figuring things out. You see some lineup changes, definitely for the Texas side.
Madison with the service ace after the service error from Texas, and that's how you tie it up.
So especially after a timeout, Dean, you want to go out there and get that first ball contact and get back to that serving line and really put some pressure on the other team.
Tate first. Peterson with the dig. Eggleston kept alive by Duello. 3-1 here for Texas. Let's see what kind of offense they can go. And Shook tries to go early. And an error at the net for Texas. Wisconsin with the lead.
Well, she took a look at it. She turned her head first to see what was available, but then the ball dropped. You really needed contact super high as a setter, and she's got that long frame too, so you got to go up and after it.
So 2 aces by 1 player. Some smooth jazz for Wisconsin. Number 14. It's the largest run of this set for Wisconsin. Eggleston, perfect tap.
Smart play. She knew Madison Duello's back there on the serving line. It's not going to make it up all the way behind the block. It was really smart. She did a nice job either listening to the bench or listening to her teammates, identifying what's open on the defensive side.
I feel like we need to remind everybody, we showed you earlier, but Eggleston should still be in high school, just 17 years old.
I think that's going to be the story all year round, and you and I were searching for other athletes maybe with the same scenario. Not many out there.
Hahn gets out of the way. Texas had a chance to stay in rhythm. They went out, and Hagerty makes them pay.
She sure does, with the perfect set by Hilly. Hagerty sees that block and takes advantage of it. She's not one to go around the block all the time. She's going to challenge that block. She goes after it. And that's just being aggressive. That's also a veteran move.
Hagerty, the 2016 Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Back injury. They shut her down last year. And she has come storming back to start the 2018 campaign for Coach Kelly Sheffield. Eggleston popped in the air. And Wisconsin adjusting to the 17-year-old. And a point at the net.
That was a huge point. It was a little strange. You got Sydney Peterson running that ball down hard. Sydney Hilly not exactly knowing where that ball was. In the end, it was just ball control.
Sydney Hilly. You can pick her every time, especially with you being a former setter, and she does everything as well.
Oh, she's real impressive tonight. Right off the bat. In the first set, she's got it down. She's doing such a great job of setting her teammates.
All right, jump around. With baby in the oven as well. Everybody having a good time.
That's right.
Perhaps a future Badger volleyball player. And here's the thing. The Big Ten coaches had it right. They picked Wisconsin #2 in the preseason. Of course, Nebraska, your reigning national champions, they've got it right. Wisconsin is legit. These sophomores are great. Hagerty is like a prize that has come home. And then the new players as well. Very good team.
Now, I have to tell you, Dean, I talked to some of the players before the match tonight, and I asked them, I said, what is the key right now for you all? Based on last year's progress, they said confidence. They read a book as a team, Confidence Code. They said it really helped them. And I can see it. I see it in young girls all the time. That's the it factor. They need the confidence in order to come together, but it also takes a lot of team chemistry. And that's what this team has. This is what this program has at this point in time, so early. Now, it's not that because I don't see it in Texas. I definitely did this past weekend. They played really strong volleyball against two top-ranked opponents. But they just look a little bit off, and that's sports for you right now, but it's not over yet. But the difference is Wisconsin's got the confidence, the team chemistry, and the fan base.
That shot right there tells the story of tonight. Excellent work by our BTN crew. 18-16, Wisconsin up 2 sets, trying to finish it out. 3-0. Can you imagine hanging a goose egg on the #2 team in the country? Texas, though, says, hang on. There's a lot of volleyball left.
That's right. It's not over yet. It's a long trip from Austin, Texas to Madison, Wisconsin.
Shook. Serving for Texas. Down 1. Lolberg came all the way across. He was looking for her 14th finish, but out of bounds, and we're tied here. Now, the Fieldhouse going to try to get behind Lolberg and the Badgers. And a service error. That was the crowd right there making that happen.
There was a crowd, and you see Ashley Shook probably needed to take another second to gather a nice deep breath before she took that serve.
Wisconsin. Clark serving Eggleston. So now Eggleston with 13 kills, tying Lolberg for a match high.
Well, you got the outside hitters doing their stuff right now. Eggleston coming in strong, hard, and aggressive. She's not slowing down at all. She's really doing a nice job of going after that block.
Pretty aggressive with the serve. Texas with 11 service errors. That's a season high for the Longhorns. Into the stands, and Longhorns with a 1-point lead.
And that's what Yazzie can do. That's why she's in there right now on the right side. She can deliver that big kill in the end, but the block was doing a nice job of getting some touches, slowing down the pace of the ball, so the defense can run the show in the backcourt.
Lolberg. 14 winners for Lolberg, and she has more than anyone else out there on a court stuffed with All-Americans.
The passing game has stepped up a notch, so you're seeing those first ball side out opportunities.
Lolberg's season high kills was 20 versus Stanford last year, as Hilly serving tied at 20s. Yazzie back in there. Effort play from Wisconsin. Crowd likes it, but it was platter time for Butler.
It was a great up by Clark. But in the end, you got Breon Butler's one-on-one. You cannot leave Breon Butler up there with just one block. And I see Grace Lolberg shaking her head afterwards. Got to help out, left side blocker. Easy kill for Texas.
21-20. Redkey swinging around, got the right arm cranked, and we're tied at 21.
We got Redkey going around strong. Swipe away. You've got Roundsville not able to take one more step defensively, but a great shot by Redkey for her 9th kill.
And Liz, you know the story. Wisconsin super happy they were 2-0, but they were concerned. That slide right there was the Redkey slide we saw last year. Lolberg serving tied at 21. Little dump kept alive by Hilly. Peterson for White. White through the net. Touched by Wisconsin and Point, Texas.
She's able to use that net to her advantage. That's happened a couple times, really opening up wide to her setter. She's getting that strong angle in front of the 10-foot line, Dean. That's a hard shot to handle by anybody.
22-21, Texas trying to extend this match with the Badgers up 2-0. A scramble, a point for Wisconsin. Wondering at 22-22 if Wisconsin has ever swept Texas. They did it back in 1997.
That's a long time ago.
Phenomenal work by A.J. Harrison on stats entire game. White. Duello with the denial, but cleaning it up, Morgan Johnson.
Morgan Johnson, one of the leaders for Texas, trying to get her team pumped up, taking advantage of that tool opportunity. She knows she does not want to go home. She wants to keep this match going.
3-22, up by 1. White on the service line. Texas 2 points away from keeping this match rolling. And Point, Texas. So serving for the third set point will be White, but before they do it, Kelly Sheffield wants to talk it over. A double hit here.
That was the first double of the night. A lot of times setters will argue that, especially if the ball is wet. That's a hard call for the official to make, especially in a tight set like this.
Soak it all in here, 7,052. No one has left the building. Tomorrow, we've got a marquee women's soccer matchup on BTN as Stephanie Golan and the Minnesota Golden Gophers look to take down top-ranked Stanford, winners of 25 in a row. Don't miss women's soccer tomorrow at 1 Eastern, right here on BTN and streaming live on the Fox Sports app.
We've got Eric Sullivan over there. conducting the offense and the defense for Texas, talking to the team, figuring it out. And we've got a little fan on the ground watching the latest. What is he watching on that phone? He's watching BTN on the phone.
BTN to go.
That's right. Thank you, everyone.
8 ties and 3 lead changes this set. The number 2 team in the country, not going to go away without a fight, and now they're just 1 point away from pushing this to the 4th set. Serving for the 3rd set is Micaiah White, the junior from Frisco, Texas. Lolberg, career night, 14 kills. To go with those 14 digs. Hagerty. And Molly Hagerty, who was in Austin in 2016 when Wisconsin down 2 sets to none, won 3 sets in a row, and she was the difference.
Well, you give it to your money player, and that's Hagerty. She's over on the left side. She's got 2 strong blockers up against her, but she finds a way to put the ball down.
Hagerty and Williams at the net for Coach Sheffield to try to tie it. Eggleston to try to win it, kept alive. Hagerty in play, still a 3-1. Texas with Eggleston again. First time denied, second time a winner, and Texas has pushed this to a 4th set.
You cannot give a free ball to a team like Texas, especially with Eggleston up there. Great job by Texas, really coming through for this 3rd set to make it last longer by delivering a good ball in the pass.
Just saw several faces of All-Americans as we pan around and start. 4th set, Wisconsin up 2 sets to 1. Retke in perfect rhythm with Lolberg. The flush 1-0 Wisconsin.
That's a big wall up there, isn't it? You got some bad ball control right there. It's really hard for Yazzie to get up there and do a nice job. She's trying really hard with that beach move just to tool the block, but you've got 4 big hands right in front of you.
Lolberg has worked the net so well without any infractions. Retke, Lolberg, double stuff time.
It's a double stuff, exactly right. Even on a 3-point pass, you saw Lolberg doing a nice job of really helping out Dana Retke earlier in the last set. She wasn't. She was spread out to the pin, and Breanne Butler had more space to hit.
Dana Retke. Just as she's coming alive, White with the answer, 2-1.
Got Micaiah White ready and waiting all the way on the left side. Looks like an easy shot for her right over Madison Duello.
Lolberg. Yazzie. Dig from Hagerty. Duello. Cleaned up by Yazzie. Retke down the middle. Kept alive by Texas. Free time here for Retke. And Retke with the kill. She's got 10.
I love Hagerty back there in the backcourt. 6 rotation player, really stretching out long for that nice dig. And then you've got Retke in the middle, in front of the setter. We've seen her hit off this line so many times tonight, Dean, but she's going off 1 foot right in the front. It's hard to stop somebody like her.
Dana Retke, 6'8". She wrote an incredible piece about what it was like to be a head taller than all of her classmates at an early age, and how she's been so good in her skin, giving all the credit to her mom and dad, and nobody bullied her. Phenomenal piece. If you haven't read it, check it out. Hagerty can't handle it. The kill for Texas.
Isn't it amazing, too? We see it, that ball coming right at us, Dean, and Hagerty is right in the line of fire, and it's still hit so hard. She can't get it off of her platform correctly, and she's such a great volleyball too. So you can imagine just the heat coming off of that swing.
Major heat is Hahn. Specialist for Coach Elliott, and Duello find the spot and put it home.
And she finds that spot in the middle too. She's got a nice high ball. You got Rettke going behind, and you got Madison Duello going right up the pipe for a high 2 ball. Wrist away.
Duello with 6 kills. Hagerty. Tough ball. Just knocked over by Williams. Everybody, all 6 players, every player in a white jersey for Wisconsin involved in that point.
And you see the space, right? So you watch a lot of soccer, you talk about soccer a lot, and you talk about spatial components with soccer, right? Keeping the space. Volleyball is the same way. You want to make sure you move together and don't leave any areas of the court uncovered. And Wisconsin's doing a nice job by that. But I tell you, I give a lot of credit to Molly Hagerty with the off-blocker defense.
Another point for Wisconsin as Rettke coming alive, and you mentioned Hagerty as well. Rettke with the ace. So Rettke's got 10 kills. Wisconsin with 3 service aces. They lead the 4th set, 6-2. Welcome back to the UW Fieldhouse, home to the number 8 Wisconsin Badgers and the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Dana Rettke, fresh off a service ace after the timeout, trying to give Wisconsin a 5-point lead. They got a chance to do it right here. They go far side to Duello, and Duello gives them that 5-point lead. Largest lead for Wisconsin since the first set.
Well, she just elevates on that out-of-system play. She does a nice job of really waiting, high hands, and attacking the ball off of Morgan Johnson's fingertips.
White, Rettke, what a dig for the 6'8" Rettke. Diving to her right, White denied. Cleaned up by Texas. Rettke again with the dig. 2 digs this rally. Shook. Johnson, Rettke again, back row dig. Hagerty bouncing around at the net, and 3 digs for Rettke, but the point still goes for Texas.
And you know we're not going to give any credit to Texas because you and I are watching Rettke dig 3 times in the backcourt. Great job of keeping the ball alive, and she's in there for a reason. She has to serve tough, but she also has to be able to dig. And look at her go down on 1 knee, but she also laid out for a ball as well.
But Texas taking the point. That can suck the air out of a team. And not so much, though. A service error right back for the Longhorns, and that's 12 service errors for Texas.
And not only service errors, a lot of errors right now for the Texas program. But very uncharacteristic for Texas.
Eggleston too deep. Point Wisconsin, 9-3.
Right now, Texas has got 2 strong hitters in the front row. Ashley Shook, front row setter.
Duello with the serving. Hagerty, Williams at the net, flush it home. Badgers rolling.
They're doing a nice job really reading the offense right now.
Wisconsin up 7, trying to shut down Texas and take it home.
Unbelievable. I mean, Nebraska was ranked so high. They struggled a little bit against Florida, got their act together against Oregon. Don't count them out at all, even though they had a loss. Last year, they had a few losses in the beginning of the season. And what happened? They ended up being national champions. But you also have somebody like Ohio State and Purdue. They're doing such a nice job. On their home court, they're winning some big matches.
Kelly Sheffield. As you see the coaches, look at all those Big Ten teams. Top 25. We'll give the point back to Texas, ending that 7-1 run for Coach Sheffield. Look at that, 7 teams, top 25 in the Big Ten.
Not unheard of at all for the #1 conference right now in the nation, the Big Ten. So strong, they're always going to have a huge showing in the poll.
State, yeah, and Michigan State also getting votes, Liz. Hagerty. Absolute smoke from number 23, Molly Hagerty.
She basically had a one-on-one opportunity right there. Breon Butler was nowhere to be found. Really tough defensively for Johnson back there to dig a ball.
Of course, Hagerty, Lolberg, and then on the other side, Ashley Shook from Texas played club volleyball together. Lolberg, cleaned up back row, popped high in the air. A little bit of a miss hit. Eggleston will allow Wisconsin to get in system. Nope, denied there at the net. What's the call? They'll say infraction on Texas. A gift right there for Wisconsin.
It was a gift. I think Jared Elliott's going to ask about that call. Boy, she really got low and got underneath it. That's a textbook dig right there by Molly Hagerty, staying low. And you see Breon Butler coming down with the hand.
Yeah, you see the net moving right there. Phenomenal look.
Great job by
BTN.
our camera up there. Yep.
Net cam.
Net cam. I like that.
12-4 Wisconsin. Biggest lead in any set so far. Number 21 with the big crank, Lolberg with 16 kills.
I love it, Dean, because you're really showing your arm swing right next to me. But look at this. Look how high that ball is going. And that is so hard to do as an outside hitter to track that ball in this gym. Kudos to Grace Lolberg for keeping the ball in front of her and scoring.
Lolberg, 17 finishes for Wisconsin, leads every single player out on the court.
It was really exciting for somebody like Grace Lolberg, new to the court this year, coming on strong in this home opener. Love seeing that.
Was able to tool Shook, and Hagerty, a service error. That's 8 now for Wisconsin against 12 for Texas, and finally the run is stopped, but those 9 points, the biggest lead yet. You know that Ashley Shook's got a lot of family here from Plainfield, Illinois. Played club volleyball with Hagerty. Lolberg. We talk about it all the time. A heat check, keep it rolling, get it back to her.
All the time, and I'm keeping my eye on right now, and Eric Sullivan, too, really directing Texas. Breon Butler's late to close that block. Makes it look so easy for the Badgers.
Service ace as Eggleston finally starting to look perhaps like a freshman, right? I mean, talk about a young lady who left high school early and the ace for Wisconsin.
Well, let's give some credit to the server as well. She does a nice job. That's a tough angle to serve straight on.
Clark in the books with one of the 4 service aces for Wisconsin. Dean. That's what I call a red key point, right? It's kind of like having Dikembe Mutombo at the rim and you just change your shot.
You do, you change your shot. You see who's in front of you. And unfortunately for Logan, she kind of hit it off her elbow. She was hoping for that touch call.
Ooh, I don't know. Looked like it, yeah, it looked like it may have hit Lolberg, and a pretty good challenge here. When I saw it real time there on that replay right there, I thought it did hit the fingers of Lolberg. What do you think, Liz?
Well, I think the facial expressions don't lie. I think Logan was up there. She felt it, she saw it, and she's going to call it. It's tough to see in that
this time
angle,
around,
too.
I wasn't so sure.
lot of times it looks like the fingers are pulled back. You know, ever so slightly.
I love that look, though, because Grace Lolberg has been as good as any player in the game at never touching the net on her rise. Her arms long and effective.
Very long and effective, and it's not an easy skill at all. Blocking is very difficult. You want to have that upper body strength. And look at that, that's really good form.
Yeah, that form's phenomenal because what it does is it obviously narrows the opportunity for Texas to finish.
It does. And the block is almost closed. We're supposed to be looking if there's a touch call here. Let's see.
Yeah, it's so mesmerized by Lolberg's ability, and not just on this play, but all night. So Wisconsin, yeah, on first glance, I thought maybe it hit the finger of Lolberg, but when we saw it again, the referee had it right, and it'll stand. Point Wisconsin. They are rolling up 12 here in the fourth set.
Well, it has to be definitive. They have to see that exact touch in order to change the call.
Shook, Butler. Butler down the middle almost every time from Shook has been wonderful for Texas.
When they have a good pass. When they have a three-point pass, she's set in the middle and she's scoring.
Eggleston. Lolberg sets herself. Cleaned up by Clark. Retke. So much power from Retke, even when she can't fully elevate. First time, not the full power. Second time, all power.
I love it when they keep going back at their middles and keep attacking that right side pin. That's where they're scoring an awful lot tonight. You see good action on both sides of the net. But Dana Retke is up. Great connection from the setter to a middle attacker.
Clark flying, you could hear her land, but then Butler able to flush Retke.
Look at the court she covers too. She's running all the way from that back line, really fully lays out, and then she goes in for the coverage ball.
Absolutely no regard for her body right there, Tiffany Clark. You could hear it right in front of us, smacking the surface here at the UW Fieldhouse. 18-7, Texas trying to put together a little run. Crawl back in this fourth set. Retke on the slide, denied. Hagerty. Lolberg! How does she find that seam? Really kind of falling back, still the power for the kill.
And you know why? She stops her feet. She stops her feet, gathers herself, and really contacts it high in front of her body. I hope everyone's watching at home, those outside hitters. You do not want to go and run behind the ball. Keep the ball in front of you so you can take a full swing.
Hagerty. Hagerty. Again. First time no, second time perfection.
Nice passing, good defense. Let's talk about the setting though, right on the money for our good friend Hagerty over there. She keeps going back at her too, I love it.
Hagerty with that double-double, 15 kills, 14 digs. Kelly Sheffield trying to save Madison Duello. Big smile as well. The word on Kelly Sheffield is he's a pretty funny guy. Keeps the team loose, plays 70s music in practice, much to the dismay, by the way, of the team. They don't love it, but they'll smile about it. He won't always crack a smile on the bench, but he apparently keeps it loose. And a service ace from Texas. Service error, rather, is 13 now.
You can see the frustration from the bench of Texas, the body language of the bench. It's tough right now when you have that many missed serves.
Retke through the tape. punch by Duello. Save back row for the Longhorns. Too deep over near Coach Sheffield. And Wisconsin 3 points away from taking down the #2 team in the country.
Boy, it's really hard right now for Texas to find the court. They're doing some good things. They're keeping the ball alive, but when it comes to shove, they need to put the ball in play.
Badgers, 298 hit percentage. And White has been the player when they needed a point to crawl back or a point to finish. She's been involved.
Well, look at how many attempts she's got. She's got 48 attempts. That's an awful lot with only 16 kills.
So White will go out. Lolberg's in the back row, sitting with a .457 hitting percentage. A service error for Texas, number 14. And the Badgers really have been the better team this entire evening. Duello. Lolberg. This is going to be trouble. Kept alive there by Hilly. Hagerty. Shook. Eggleston. And Eggleston again with the response. She has 15 finishes to go with White's 16. Those two leading the Longhorns, but the score 23-10. High fives for Duello. Hagerty can't get to it.
You feel like you got a little wiggle room right now with the score, with this wide margin. They can start to work on a couple things, take a few more risks.
Hagerty. Too deep. No. Not too deep. I'm going to get a finger of a Badger and a point for Texas. Williams, Hagerty, Lolberg. Waiting for Hilly to set up Hagerty, and Hagerty. Did I mention Hilly to Hagerty?
You did. A few times. I like it.
The field house, 7,052. Loving it as the Badgers trying to take down the #2 Texas Longhorns. Hagerty, she was there in 2016 when they came back down 2-0. And the Badgers have knocked off the #2 team in the country, 3-1. Wisconsin now with a 3-match winning streak against Texas, the longest in series history, and the largest set win of the year for Wisconsin. And here is the final point.
What a beautiful way for senior Tiana Williams to finish it with a stop block straight down, showing her teammates how much she cares about this home opener against the #2 team in the nation.
Not the best day for Texas against the Big Ten. Congratulations to the Maryland football team taking down the Longhorns. And really, I feel like I can call this a no-doubter from the start. Wisconsin, the better team here at home, really making 7,052 fans pretty happy.
Think about 62 kills right now for this team. Their offense was on fire. That was the most impressive part that I saw tonight. I think Sydney Hilly was really the key. I love my setters, but boy, she really put them in a nice position to find a way to win, and it was great to see.
So I called Liz Tortorello Nelson a trailblazer. She is part of a Wisconsin team that got the first Big Ten championship. They used to have to pay the band members to come. You don't have to pay anybody anymore. This is a scene to bestow. It's beautiful what we're seeing here.
I'm very grateful to be here, to be able to witness this, but also to see my alma mater do such great things. Very exciting. And this is just the beginning, Dean.
And here she is, Liz Tortorello Nelson, Dean Linke, soaking it all in. Wisconsin is a team that not only, I think, can win the Big Ten, they can make a deep run. They have national championship talent. I'm going to say it.
Well, that's for sure. I mean, they were picked number 2 in the Big Ten, but they're definitely going to battle teams like Nebraska and Penn State and Minnesota. And really what I witnessed tonight, I think the only team that can match up to their tempo is Minnesota. So it's going to be another great season of Big Ten volleyball.
One of the things you want to do if you're going to make a run, pick a star. Tonight, it was Lolberg, the star among all of the stars. She was fantastic.
Well, she was amazing. And right from the get-go, she had nice connections with her setter. She's the hammer of the team. But what I love the most about Grace Lolberg is that she gets it done on those out-of-system plays. She finds the ball in front of her and finds the seams. But she's a 6-rotation player, and that is no small feat. She serves well, she digs, she keeps the ball alive, and we are able to witness so many great things about this young star.
The fans still soaking it in. Nobody wants to leave. Why would you? Phenomenal crowd here. They opened up the upper deck for the first time since 2008. And Kelly Sheffield's Wisconsin Badgers responded. Once again, our final score, number 8 Wisconsin 3, number 2 Texas 1.